Fins up, only fans, but with a PH. You heard? Yo. White, orange, and teal. The fins look real, you know what's the deal. There's blood, sweat, and tears. All up in his huddle with water to cook up a meal. My coaching in two with the combo was chill. Play action to chase, got hunger to feel. The cheetah is loose, he's going for blood. The end of the race only went for the kill. Miami, the city, the county, the block. We steady unpacked, tail getting the lot. Defense is strong and hard as a rock. Holland's a lock, and next one's a spot. Getting too hot, so turn up the fan. You look to the crowd, see Jimmy and Bam. Martin, Joe, and Sosa the mans. Your fellas, roll the clip, only fans.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy So, and welcome back to the channel for another week of OnlyFans, a Dolphins post-game show with reaction, analysis, and a whole lot of heart. Now, before we get this party started, we ask that you hit the like button on this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and turn on the post notifications so you catch our next video. Now, with me today for the post-game recap, you know him, you love him, the co-host of the Sports with So podcast, Joel, a.k.a. the Delusional Dolphin. What's up, my brother?
What's going on? So I'm feeling real good right now, baby. 3-0, undefeated.
Let's go, man. He's our favorite skeptic, undoubtedly. Skylar Thompson's #1 fan. We got Martin joining the show. What's up, Martin? Talk to me, brother.
What's up, guys? Give me 1 second. I'm getting a call from McDaniel. They decided to finally run the ball. He's trying to, congratulate me on the good calls. Give me 1 second.
I love it. And of course, we got the bringing in the noise and the Dolphins' future #1 super fan, friend of the show, Rax. Talk to me, my man.
You know what it is, baby. You see it. You see them boys putting a 70 piece on them boys. Let's go, man.
Yes, sir. And we're talking today about the Week 3 upset. Well, not an upset, an upsetting game for the Broncos if you're a Broncos fan, but this was a straight ass kicking. 70-20. The Dolphins beat the crap out of the Broncos at home for their season opener. Wow, what an impressive game. Gentlemen, what else can we say about this game that we cannot say? Because we literally saw it all today. An offensive explosion, defense coming up with back-to-back big plays, and special teams doing this damn thing. Wow. It's been a while since we got a complete game. I don't know how you guys are feeling. Let's jump straight into it. Martin, talk to me about what your thoughts are on this game.
McDaniel just left me another voicemail. This guy, we ran the ball. Like, how much, if anyone's excited for this game or the outcome or what we did, is me. I don't care about the yards. That's ridiculous. But the fact that we went ahead and this is the first game that I could be like, we actually ran the ball more than we passed the ball. And it was crazy with all the stats that he'll put up. It was insane.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. Joel, talk to me about what you thought during this game. You were there to see them play well in New England. Now you got to see them on TV and see it a little bit different. How'd you think about this week turns out?
I got to jump on the Martin train right now, man. I was watching it. I was thinking of Martin. I'm like, this is nice right here. I'm sure Martin is ecstatic right now. First play of the game was a run. In a day where Tyreek,
in a row, right?
Yeah. In a day where Tyreek Hill had over 150 yards receiving, where Tua had 4 passing touchdowns, where the defense, had really good plays. The running backs were the storyline here, and you got Devon Achane, who's our rookie out of Texas A&M, 18 carries, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, one of the most beautiful touchdown runs I've ever seen a Dolphins run for 67 yards. And then you had Raheem Mostert, 13 carries, 82 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. I mean, when has this happened? When do you get this kind of production from 2 Dolphins running backs? I
mean, honestly, I was talking about it with my cousin. Shout out to Axel. I think the last time we saw such a running game that was powerful and potent week in, week out was like the Ronnie Brown, Ricky Williams era. Am I right?
Wildcat. Wildcat era.
The horses, baby. The Ricky Williams, Ronnie Brown, and horses. Those guys used to carry this team. Hell yeah, you're right.
What about this week, Rack? What you think about Mostert and Achane killing it?
Boy, listen, man. When I tell you that stadium was rocking, we could feel it in our seats, man. Like, those boys were putting in that work, and it was just so excited to watch, man. My voice is kind of gone. I've been screaming since like 8:30 in the morning. No reason to scream at 8:30 in the morning, but when you're tailgating, there's always a reason to be screaming at 8:30 in the morning, baby.
I got a question for the group. I got a question for the group here. What's more impressive, the Dolphins' margin of victory today, or the fact that Rax made it to this episode of OnlyFans?
100% Rax making it. 100%.
I've got no idea how I'm looking straight into this camera. If my eyes are cross-eyed, listen, just go with it, bro. Go with it. We had fun.
We're going with it. We're
fun.
100% going with it. 100% going with it. Let's jump into this game, fellas, because from the get-go, we saw the offense really take off, right? And that was something that we've been calling for prior to the season started. We wanted to see the offense clicking as soon as the game started. We saw Tua connecting with a wide open Tyreek Hill for a touchdown. 3 plays into it. It was a quick drive to show Denver, hey, we're not messing around. You better cover this guy, because if you don't, this is what you can expect. And we saw a lot of that happening. That quick touchdown really sucked the air out of the Broncos, I think, because they were kind of expecting a battle with their defense, and we just scored so quickly and so easily that I don't think the offense was prepared, and it showed on their first drive because it was a quick 3-and-out from them. And then we drove down the field. We're giving the rookie, Devon Achane, the chance to get a couple of carries, really show the world what he's been working on. And this dude responds with his first NFL rushing touchdown, and he ended up getting a couple of more on the day, including a passing touchdown. What do you guys think of his performance today overall? Joel, we'll start with you. We knew the expectations were semi-high for him because of how good he ran at Texas A&M, but I don't know if we expected this type of powerful performance.
I think we did expect this. This is why we drafted the kid, man. He's a beast. He has some of the craziest speed that we've seen. Just the acceleration that he has once he sees the hole and makes a decision. It's really reassuring to see, especially with a backfield like we have with Raheem Mostert, who's 31 years old. We have him on a short-term deal. Jeff Wilson Jr., who's been out the first four games. It's reassuring to see the fact that, yet another one of our draft picks is starting to pan out. It's looking like they're going to be a good NFL player.
I see you agreeing there, Martin. What are your thoughts on that?
I kind of disagree. I in no way, shape, or form thought that Achane was going to do that. I will say, I'm not going to discredit anything he did, but if you run for 200 yards on your first official, real carries game, I'm going to be like, bro, yes, hats off to you, but that is crazy. That's like a video game type shit. No, I don't believe it. I don't think that's going to happen again. There's no way. You need to prove me wrong. That's crazy. That to me, it was like, what
definitely video game shit. Definitely video game shit. What do you think, Rax, of his performance today?
Come on, bro. We've all been waiting for it. We can see that boy's speed. We can see what he got.
Of course.
We've just been waiting for it. We've been waiting for that boy to bust out his shell, make those runs, make those cuts, get those scores. Whoo! I gotta get a chain that says, "Hey, chain!" I gotta get a chain for that boy, man. I got to.
You have to, dog, and that's not a bad idea. We got to market that shit from OnlyFans because the way this dude really ran today is what impressed me the most, right? He ran the ball hard, 18 carries, and he made the most of every single carry, right? I don't think he took a loss or a big loss on any of his carries today. So he was always moving the line forward, always finding little pockets where he can use his speed to kind of break into the second tier and get away from the defenders. Even Mostert today, the running game from him and Mostert today was amazing. Mostert only had 13 carries for 82 yards, but the dude had 3 rushing touchdowns, short yardage rushing touchdowns, letting you know that, when he needs to muscle up, he can still produce and be a goal line type back, right? That shit was impressive because, again, like we talked about earlier, I don't think we've seen that 1-2 punch combo in quite some time where it's power football. We talked about Tua's connection to Tyreek Hill earlier. Here it is, courtesy of CBS, like the other Mostert Achane touchdown we showed earlier. You can just see that acceleration from this guy. Later on, he goes in there to celebrate with the rest of the fans. He had to pull him out of there. And just shows that the team was vibing. Denver did come back and answer, though, right?
Barely, bro. We were clicking. There was those guys were so far out of it, just the first quarter of the game. It was nice for the home fans to get that kind of show that they got. We start on the road, back-to-back games, and we win in impressive fashion. We're being touted as one of the best offenses, in the league. We could have been going into Arizona, one of the worst teams, and lose. We could have been that situation, but we weren't.
Like the Cowboys.
Exactly. We hosted, the Denver Broncos, who aren't great, But, they got Russ, let Russ cook, Broncos country, let's ride. Sean Payton supposed to be reinvigorated and all that, but we whooped their ass in every facet of the game. But going back to the running game and Tua, Tua, we got to talk about his 23 for 26. The guy had more touchdown passes than he had incompletions in the game, which is ridiculous. But it's another credit to the O-line, man. The O-line's playing phenomenal. And, there was, if we're going to nitpick, in a game where we won by 50 points, if really we're going to look at this with a microscope, we can nitpick Connor Williams again, man. A couple of boneheaded mistakes from the guy, a couple penalties. I think we ended up removing him for a second there, putting Eichenberg at center or something. I don't even know what happened.
He got hurt with a groin injury.
Thank God, man.
What were your thoughts on the line play today? Because like Joel said, obviously we know that they're doing their absolute best. Armstead made his way back right to the lineup.
Armstead looked good, man.
Played well. The whole line played well. Talk to me.
That O-line is playing on rookie mode in Madden right now because nobody's moving, nobody's getting through them. And honestly, I didn't know this stat until the game, but Connor Williams, even with all these mishaps he's had, he's rated number 4 in the league right now. That blew my mind. So you really can't, I don't know if it's the efficiency of the rest of the line that makes him look better, but our O-line has played flawless. I can't even say anything negative about that. What I want to say is that going into this game, and I love Patrick Surtain, he's like, oh, I'm a man up on Tyreek Hill. Buddy, that was the worst thing to say because that guy came out, and it wasn't even that many pass attempts. 150 yards on 26 pass attempts, and that was already before. That was probably 16 passes in. That was insane. Yeah, and the run game. Don't again. You guys could say what you want because you know what I'm already gonna say. Like that to me, I don't know. I just
think that we're all gonna be taken aback from the running game, but we gotta really recognize what Tua is doing, right? In a game like this where he knows that the running game is clicking, he's not making the dumb throws downfield. He's not really forcing throws into coverage. The fact that he started off 17 of 17 for the game, right, was within a couple of passes of breaking the record, shows you how focused and locked in. We know that Waddle missed the game, right, with the concussion stuff. We held him out to kind of just protect him for that extra week. Kind of wondered how would it affect it. It really didn't. Tua did his same thing, connected with 6 different wide receivers. Obviously, Tyreek Hill ended up with 9 catches for 176 yards, I think, right? 157 yards, excuse me. But just shows you how the offensive power can still continue to click regardless of who's in the lineup. We got to shout out Braxton Berrios too. They played well. Chosen with the big touchdown at the end of the game, right? Connecting with Mike White. It was huge. And I felt like every time that Denver wanted to get back into the game, we had a response. And right when they scored that touchdown, we saw this beautiful little flick by Tua to an A-chain for his second touchdown as an NFL pro. This kid really impressed today, man. I think that this guy could be a candidate for Rookie of the Year if he continues to play like this. Am I tripping, Rox?
You ain't tripping. But listen, I got all respect for the run game, but I got to say something about this run game. Like, I know that NFL teams set up the run so that they can pass. I think we're doing it backwards, yo. Like, I think we're passing the ball so people go back up a little bit, and then we run the ball, and it's like wide open. It's wide open. I disagree with me if you want to, but we are a passing team that can still run. So I'm going to pass the ball, and I'm going to run it down your motherfucking throat. My opinion.
All right, let's hear it. Joel, thoughts on that?
I just think McDaniels is a wizard, bro. Like McDaniels in that little flip play that you just,
I love that nerd.
Like that you just showed right there. I mean, it shows his creativity, and I was dogging him for the one mistake he made all game, and which was, in my opinion, the only mistake that he made all game, which was going forward on 4th down early in the game in Denver Bronco territory, or no, in your own territory. I think we were in our own side of the field, so. That was the one thing I was kind of nitpicking, but you can just see, man, what a mastery of offensive calling that was, man. From just, dude, you got Tyreek Hill with 9 catches. You still had 6 other receivers that caught passes, and of those receivers, your running backs had 11 catches on the day. I mean, you see he's making adjustments. He's changing it up. And not just the run, combined, you had 31 rushes between the two guys, but you also had 11 catches. He's getting the ball in the guys that can impact the game the most. You see that pass to Mostert where he tiptoed down the sideline. The 31-year-old still got a lot to play. And the rookie, I mean, you just see it, bro. He's too spry. He's too fast. Once he finds that hole, he's gone, bro. There's no covering that guy. And Tyreek, he's unguardable. I said it. I know Patrick Surtain. I give him his flowers. I called him the best, corner in the NFL. He can be, just not when you're going up against the best receiver in the NFL, Papa. I'm sorry.
Told you on the podcast. Martin, what were your thoughts on that 4th and 1 call?
Atrocious. Dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. But you know who's gonna top? Sorry, I know I'm going off topic. But Brandon Staley did it with the Chargers, winning the game with 4 minutes left. That was even worse than McDaniel. At least McDaniel did it going into the third quarter, very early on. It's like, all right, I'm going off topic.
No,
but yeah, that was stupid. Either way, that was stupid.
We were up 21-10 at that point, right? But I think the problem that everybody had with the play call was the actual play call, right? Not the fact that we went for it. It was the play call, the carry to Alex Ingold. And we like Alex Ingold a lot, but it just felt like we exposed him a little bit too much, right?
What I would say, yes, the call sucked on top of the play call sucking. But for me, the worst thing is, as a fan base, we got to understand he's aggressive. If he gets it, you guys are praising him. Yeah, I'm saying overall, we have to be able to understand it. We're gonna get some, we're gonna lose some. So end of the day, whatever it is, what it is. But it is a dumb call.
Yeah, for sure. Rax, let's talk a little bit about how this offense is producing. Right, we have now 6 or 7 touchdown drives under 2 minutes, leading the NFL. Right, that's part of that offensive fluidity that we like to talk about on the show. We had 138 yards on the ground at halftime. A-Chain 10 of 74, Mostert 7 of 64. It felt like we were heading in the right direction. And even when the second half started, right, and we pretty much stopped the Broncos on their first drive. We had a great 11-play, 90-yard drive with Mostert getting his 3rd touchdown, and we're going to be able to see all 3 here. Let's talk about his performance today, Rax. What'd you think about Mostert's game today?
I mean, that's my dog, man. That's my dog, Raheem Mostert, the old man of the NFL. They said couldn't run, couldn't do it anymore, couldn't hit them corners, couldn't run up the middle. Look at him, bro. That boy is scoring left and right. And just to jump off topic, talk about in that 4th down, go for it. You guys had to be there, bro. In my head, I know it was a dumb call. I agree it was a dumb call. But that stadium, the energy in that stadium was ridiculous. You couldn't hear. Everything was shaking. In my opinion, I feel like McDaniels was like, we've got the home advantage. Let's see what we can do. If we can get this 4th down, make it a 1st down, it's going to be incredible. It didn't work out that way. We all criticized it. Trust me, every fan around me was like, what the fuck are you doing? But if you would have got that 1st down, they would have been like, genius. Genius. But
absolutely. But I think I think we can all really appreciate the type of gunslinger mentality that McDaniel has right now, and the trust and confidence that he has in this team, right? Because that's what's making the biggest difference. The second half starts, and we just start to dominate those guys, right? We saw the touchdowns right now from Raheem Mostert, but this dude had 2 more rushing touchdowns. He had that catching touchdown where Joel said he kept his feet in bounds and really made it all the way. We just stifled this team and really dominated them, right? Which is what we wanted to see, because we knew Denver wasn't a good opponent, and we wanted to be focused on taking this team serious, beating them as best as possible before we move on to the next weekend, whatever the next game may be. I feel like this team is super focused on not necessarily just winning it, but winning every game, but winning to look good. Is that the level that we're at right now, fellas? What do you guys think?
They're not satisfied. Like Oregon on Saturday, we're not satisfied. We're not satisfied. Run it up. Dog, we put up 70. He could have pulled the brakes. He could have put the brakes, and we didn't. I fucking love it. That's not the team that I'm used to for the past 30 years. I fucking love it.
He pulled the brakes back a little bit, though. I mean, the record was 72. We had a shot at the chip field goal right there to go 73. We also needed, I think we were shy 7-8 yards of the all-time record for total yards in a game at 700 and I don't know, I can't remember the total, but we ended up just short of that. But all around, phenomenal performance. You want to nitpick? I'll nitpick. I mean, Connor Williams with a couple penalties and something, whatever. I'm gonna nitpick that. I'll nitpick the fourth down decision for McDaniels. I'll also nitpick the special teams breakdown where we let Marvin Mims take it to the house on us, just because that shouldn't have happened. That was a bang play. But overall, the offense did their thing. Special teams didn't really have to do the thing. I think the first time we punted was like in the fourth quarter of the game. I don't even think we had to use the punt unit. And the last thing I want to make sure that gets their flowers is the defense, man. We haven't really talked about a defense that had 3 takeaways on the day, an interception and 2 fumble recoveries. We were out there punching the ball out of these guys' hands, looking like we had Peanut Tillman on our team in every position. So the defense, we got to make sure we give them their flowers for this game too.
Martin, you're the defensive specialist here. Let's go, baby. This is your platform.
Honestly, it's hard. I get it. Overall, it looked great because they got 20 points and it was garbage time points, some of them.
Yeah.
But it was nobody other than Javon Holland with a takeaway, and then Kohu had one, but they were kind of picking on him at one point, and he was making, making
Elliott too. Elliott got picked on a couple of times today.
The funny part, a blowout like this, no defensive player stood out to me other than Van Ginkel. Van Ginkel's motor showed up again in the beginning of the game when it really counted, when they were like actually, moving the ball, whatsoever. He showed the motor that we want him week in and week out. Phillips, I think, went out again, so he was questionable. So he got another opportunity to show what he has to offer. But yeah, other than Holland, I can't really tell you a person that stood out to me on defense because, we had the ball so much on offense. So I
think for me, who the person who stood out the most besides Javon Holland, right? Because he did force both fumbles. Elliott recovered one, and I forget who recovered the other one. But Agba, Agba is a guy who is on like the last year of his contract. Guy's playing for money. His future with the Dolphins is up in the air. We don't really know what he's going to bring to the table. How good can he be this year on a team, on a defensive unit that's full of studs on his position, right? But this dude brought the noise today and really stood out above everybody else. Yeah, the entire defense looked great, but you can look at Agba, and when you guys watch the game again, you'll see that Agba was really putting that pressure, on Wilson play in after play after play after play. So he kind of stood out. He also had that interception. It's a kind of weird interception because it came off the lineman's back, right? But still, he's just being aware and being in the moment, right? And just being in the pocket. And when you have that type of game, those type of things happen for you.
He also had the lone sack for the Dolphins today. In a game where I expected a few more sacks, he did have the lone sack. But no, I agree. The defense didn't really have to be out there that long, But I was pretty content with what I saw in the secondary. Justin Bethel, Elliott, Kader Kohu, those guys, man, they were making some good plays out there. Xavier Howard, only one mistake. He slipped. He got burned on that, the broken play, which should have been a sack. If we get to Russell, that play doesn't happen where they get the touchdown to Cortland Sutton, where they broke down and he just kind of broke away from Xavier Howard. That I put that more on the defense than Xavier Howard, honestly, man, because if a play extends that long, they're bound to get open. But you really have to, dive deep to try to find, to nitpick and pick things that the Dolphins did wrong this game. Everything went right for us. 3-0, baby. AFC
Absolutely.
East favorites. Let's go.
Absolutely. And even when you think about like the touchdown, right? The one that they ran back for the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
We responded. A-Chain with playing with his quote unquote garbage minutes, making the most of his carries. He took a carry and took it straight to the house for a 40-something yard touchdown and sealed the game right there. 67. You know what I mean? Like just shows the mentality.
His run was 67 yards.
That this team is playing with, right?
Like that's correct, bro.
This dude is bringing that energy, that force, and these guys are taking all that cue from McDaniel, that don't give up mentality, that we're gonna put it on them. I just think that he didn't go for the field goal because he didn't want to embarrass Sean Payne, and that field goal would have been something embarrassing, right? Where we don't necessarily need.
I'm sorry. Are we talking about the Sean Payne that was a headhunter? The one that got fined for head hunting players, that guy? Fuck that guy, bro.
The same one that said that Teddy Bridgewater was going to be the starter halfway through this last year's season.
Remember, McDaniel was a Bronco fan growing up. So
Yeah.
that's
Broncos
probably
ball
another
boy.
reason.
That's why he put
Yeah, he
70
did.
on their ass. Let's
Bro,
That's
it
right.
got, this game was so wild that when we pulled Tua already and all of our starters, we were up 56-20, I think it was, or something like
Yes,
that.
sir.
Yeah.
We threw in Mike White, Robbie Anderson, who's been on the practice squad for 2 weeks. We just
sir.
elevated him because of Jalen Waddle's concussion protocol. And the guy goes out there and rips a catch for, how long was this touchdown catch?
60 something as well.
68
Yeah,
yards,
69.
bro. Bomb.
Bomb.
He's a long ball specialist, bro. He comes in the game, only catch of the game, only target, and he turns it into a touchdown, bro. Even our backups are doing that, bro.
No, and
We're
even
firing on all
Brooks, the running
cylinders
back.
right now.
Brooks was the last running back to really get the most of the carries, and even he ran the ball hard and ended up with like 40-something yards. Like
9 carries for 66 yards for
66
Brooks
yards.
in
Yeah.
let's
garbage
go,
time.
my boy. This guy's out there putting in work. That just shows you how good the O-line is right now, fellas. The O-line is playing at an elite level. We had the second highest point total in NFL history today in this Dolphins game. Second most points scored in a game since 1956.
My God.
Second most yardage, 726 yards. And obviously, we broke a franchise record for points and yardage in a game. Fourth time in NFL history, or the fourth team in NFL history to score 70 or more points in a game. That's regular season and or playoffs. Yeah, nasty stats. 4 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns. I think we hadn't seen that since 1950. Just an
Crazy.
epic game, something that we're gonna remember
Crazy.
forever. There's gonna be so many stats that come out this game, and we hope that you guys saw it live like we did. Because if you didn't, this is the reason this show exists, so you can get an amazing recap.
I thought that our win against the Ravens last year, that comeback victory, was probably the most impressive Dolphins win I had ever seen. I think this tops it right now, bro.
Yeah,
the way that we went out there
this one.
today, I think that this tops it. But listen, guys, this has been fun. 3-0. We've done our thing against these 3 good teams. But next week we have a wild card rematch, and the guys that we're playing, they had an impressive victory of their own today, and we're not playing at home either.
Did they?
So what are you guys thinking about next week against our first real opponent?
For me, we know what this team is about. We know that we can compete with this team whenever necessary, right? So I don't have a problem facing the Bills. And I'd rather face the Bills in Buffalo now, right? This week of September, last week of September, rather than late December, early January. Forget that. I'd rather take my chances now. I really believe in this team's offense and this team's defense and this team's special teams. So there's no reason why we shouldn't feel confident. We're the only AFC team, I think, that's still undefeated. So
yeah, Ravens lost today, so we're the only.
Sir.
My
What
God.
What about you, Rex?
Oh my God. We talk so much about this type of fucking play, and I'm looking at this team. I got to see them live. Listen, you put that Super Bowl seed in your head and you try to fight that shit, and you try to fight that shit, and you try to fight that shit. But like, I look at my team, I look at them and I say, who the fuck is gonna stop them? And the first team that pops into my head was maybe the Dallas Cowboys because of that defense. Fuck the Dallas Cowboys. Arizona just hurt their ass. If Arizona put a beating on their ass, bro, I'm just too excited, dog. My heart beats. My heart beats for this team. It's just, oh God.
You have every reason to feel like that, bro, because I feel like this is something that we really haven't seen as Dolphins fans.
Ever.
I've been a Dolphins fan for over 25 years now, right? Like, and I've never seen anything like this, and we haven't really seen this type of offensive juggernaut as a team or dominating team
Juggernaut.
since the
Let's
70s,
go.
man. Yeah, it's weird to even say it, right? Martin, you slipped away while we were talking about what this team looks like and how we're feeling into heading into week 4 matchup against Buffalo. What do you think about that matchup and how the Dolphins should be feeling heading into that matchup?
I think this is going to be the first true test, and I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to be. Until we beat the Bills, it's their division. We're going to see a lot healthier Bills defense this time around with all their corners back. Tre'Davious White just came back this week, and they had 4 picks overall as a team. This is the first true test of the season. Although I thought the Chargers game was a good pick-me-up, this is going to be the game to, at least early on in the season, that's going to be like, are we for real or not?
All right, since this is a real test, what do you think? Give me your prediction for this week.
Oh my God. To me, I think if we run the ball like we did, now I'm not saying stats wise, if we consistently run the ball, we will beat the Bills. If we have to be a pass or die team, we will lose. So it just
All
depends
right.
on that. That's gonna be my
All right,
outcome.
Rax, what do you think about next week matchup? How's that game going to turn out?
Listen, I gotta agree. Like, I know we've been playing rock solid against some teams, but this is the team we gotta slap in the motherfucking mouth, bro. This is the one. This is the one because everybody's got their goddamn panties in a bunch of guys. Buffalo and their goddamn quarterback. I haven't even purchased Madden 24 because he's on the face of the goddamn cover. All right. And I refuse to purchase that game, bro. Slap him in the mouth. Let him know we run the East.
All right. All right. Joel, wrap us up here, man. What are your thoughts on this next week matchup?
I share all the same thoughts that the cast does, man. We got our first real big test. This is going to be a matchup, a rematch of last year's wild card round, where we lost to the Bills with no Tua. So there's a big difference this time around, and I hope the Bills know that. Even if they don't know that, they're about to find out, bro. I'm telling you right now, because this guy's on a tear right now. McDaniels is having fun. Tua's having fun. The O-line's doing their thing. I'm expecting fireworks in Buffalo come Sunday.
Yeah, man, absolutely, brother. And I think so too, man. And you know what? You mentioned these guys are having fun. If you look at that background that Joel has, that's the O-line and the team celebrating, doing that little step and cadence and stuff like that. You only do stuff like that when you're winning big-time games and winning them in big-time fashions like the Dolphins did today, 70-20 over the Broncos. For Rex, Martin, and Joel, we appreciate you guys joining us on OnlyFans. You guys know what to do. You guys got to go tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about this amazing show that we're bringing you guys every single week on OnlyFans. And you're only going to catch it on the Sports with So YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed. Until next time, y'all. Peace.